be going over the American Revolution. So we would have done the Kahoot. Some vocab that you may need to know throughout this presentation today are the Redcoats, which will be the British soldiers. The Minutemen are also some colonial soldiers / militia, which going to our next one would be militia, army of civilians. And then also the Boston Tea Party, which is the dumping of British goods into the harbor. And the Declaration of Independence, a document declaring independence for the colonies. So the beginnings of the American Revolution, there was 13 colonies settled within the northeast of the new Americas. They began governing themselves, not liking the British ways and implementing the, their new government. They were very upset with the higher taxes on goods and started a trade embargo as well. And it was set on the colonies from the British government. So, protesting the taxation of the goods, which was the Stamp Act. The British created these Stamp Acts on the newspapers and legal documents, and they would put extra taxation on top of these products, creating more money inflow for the British and not for the colonies. Samuel Adams was a major play in the Sons of Liberty. That was a political party that was started that basically got the Revolutionary War started. So what happened in Boston? Does anyone have any background information on what actually went down in Boston in the American Revolution? So, going off of what Fosse just said, that the Redcoats came to Boston and they showed up with all these different goods, and people were obviously upset with what was going on with the Stamp Act and the trade embargo, and there were shots fired in the opening of a crowd. The Boston Massacre, the first person to actually die of the Boston Massacre, there was actually only 7 or 8 people that were shot to begin with, which led to the first killing of Crispus Attucks. So the Boston Tea Party began, where the colonists dumped tea in the harbor to protest all of the trade embargoes and Stamp Act that happened within the colonies that the British put on them. This then led to the first shots of the Battle of Concord. The Battle of Concord, 8 colonists were killed with 1 redcoat. It wasn't a very large battle to begin with, because it was like just outside of a town, and then the people went their separate ways. This is where the Paul Revere warning of the infamous "the British are coming." There was actually a lantern system set up to where if Paul Revere saw 2 lanterns set through a window that the British were coming, that one, that obviously no one was there. And if there was no lights, obviously the British were already there, and that he needed to hurry. The Battle of Bunker Hill. 1,200 militia took on the British Army at Bunker Hill. The militia wiped out the Redcoats, killing 1,000 of them, which may seem like not like a lot, but for the British, that was actually very costly because of how much ammunition that they had to use, and with them having to ship stuff in from Britain, and with the colonists already having all of their materials, that it's helped them plenty. It showed the Redcoats the true grit of the colonists, that they'd been doing their own ways for a while, and that they were so emphatic and powerful, in power of what they wanted, that they were going to fight no matter what, the outcome was, that they were going to try for something to end in their way. And the Declaration of Independence. This was a document signed by numerous people. It was signed in 1776 that separated the colonies from Britain. It was now creating the United States of America, and some important names who signed were Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Ben Franklin. Does anyone have any background knowledge with any of those 3 names? Anything at all?
2 of them were presidents.
2 of them were presidents.
$100 bill.
$100 bill.
They're all white.
That is true, they all are white.
They're all men.
They all are men.
They're all dead.
All dead. So why does this matter? Without the Declaration of Independence, who would we still be ruled by to this day? Britain. What year was the Declaration of Independence signed? And name two major battles from the Revolutionary War.
Battle of Lexington,